Welcome to Talk About Scary, the show where we do just that.
Talk about scary places and whether or not we think the stories are true.
Hey, Clay.
Hey, Adam.
Good to hear from you again.
How's your day going? It's good to hear you, too.
Yeah. It's, not seeing you, but it's good to hear from you, which is great. It's going well. Going really well. I am really happy today because I don't have to tell a story. It's your turn.
You make it sound like you hate telling stories. Do you just want me to tell all the stories? Because that's okay.
No, it's okay. It's just I like the way you tell a story better. I wind up stuttering
Welcome
over my
to
words.
Talk About Scary with Clay Moffatt, and occasionally Adam's here too. Today, I'm going to be talking about scary places. If you hear someone laughing right now, that's just Adam. Ignore him. He's a no one.
I like to give the commentary in the background. It's my favorite thing to do. I do like telling stories, but I love the way you tell stories more.
That's because I've mastered the art of telling a story while always pausing in appropriate places and leaving the audience wanting more than they think they want.
That's a bit much.
Because I know what's best for them.
You need to dial it back about 25%.
Every time. Okay. My tangent has come to an end.
Nice.
And
you are a fantastic storyteller,
since you
though. Fantastic.
You say it's my turn. I do have an interesting thing to talk about today. We're going completely off the grid. In fact, please send us an email if you've even heard of what I'm going to talk about today.
We're going off the grid.
Because we're not just going off the grid. We're practically going off the planet. We're going to the most uninhabited continent on the Earth.
Australia?
No. It
California.
starts with an A, though. That's a state.
Aspen.
You're just embarrassing yourself now. This is just embarrassing.
You said start with an A. Just trying to help out. Austria.
Yes.
You can throw some shrimp
We're
on
going
the bobby.
to... Anyway, we're going to Antarctica, all the way south.
Ooh.
When you go south, to the point where you start going north again because you can't go south any further, that's where we're going.
I hear it's cold down there.
A little bit. One time it got to like 40 degrees.
That's cold. That's pretty cold.
I'm just kidding.
Especially
It gets
for
a
us.
lot colder than that. But I'm not a weatherman, and I'm not about to pretend that I can give exact temperatures, but I know that it gets well below freezing down there. So
At least negative 40.
let's talk about Deception Island. And that literally, before you even can say anything, that literally almost sounds like a movie or like a fake place. Like,
Say it again.
Deception Island? Deception Island. Have you heard of Deception Island? Deception Island. That's where the
Deception
Decepticons are from.
Island.
They hide out down there, waiting to fight Optimus Prime.
I feel like it's more of a place you'd go to if you had a secret you wanted to tell a friend behind another friend's back. You would take the canoe down to Deception Island and then craft your deception down there, Game of Thrones style.
The island conceals a secret bay, a sunken area accessible from the sea by a single narrow passage. There's a black gravel beach that hosts the scattered remains of rusted structures and whaling equipment.
Ooh, whaling equipment. Scary.
Yes. Well, if you're a whale, I mean, like, Shamu. This is like the ghost story for Shamu.
It's true. If you're hunting killer whales, what if you're just hunting normal whales? Like
Humpback whales are like, all right, it's cool, we're good here, it's cool, we're not orcas, it's cool.
It's Deception
Don't
Island.
look like an orca. Don't look like an orca.
It's Deception Island, so it could be deceiving those whales. So,
well, I talked about black sand beaches. When you go through this narrow passage and you get to the beaches around the area, literally bleached out whale skeletons sit on the beach like they've been rotting there and just sitting there for years.
That sounds dope.
And
that is the most butt rock thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I want to tell you that right now.
There's tanks that once held thousands of gallons of whale oil, and now they just sit there completely rusted and empty. This isn't really a place that is utilized anymore. It's
it'd be great,
pretty much abandoned.
I have an idea. Let's shoot a heavy metal rock video down there. That seems like the perfect place.
Yes, you're right. I heard that Linkin Park was going to go down there to shoot something.
I said heavy metal butt rock, not Linkin Park.
You're right. I said I heard that Disturbed was going to go down there and shoot something.
A little better. Okay. Proceed.
You're right. I heard that the Backstreet Boys got back together again and they were going to go down there and shoot something.
You're like, Nickelback,
Excuse
man.
me.
Nickelback.
I've completely butchered this part of the show. I heard that Billie Eilish was going to go down there and shoot something.
Now, hey, Billy, you actually should do that. If you're listening, please do that and then call us and let us know that you did it. Give us some credit.
Also, please don't do that.
I'm a big fan of Billy. I think she's great. But
we'd like to thank you for joining us on this episode of Talk About Scary, hosted by Clay Moffatt, and occasionally Adam makes some noise. We'll be back next time.
Okay, so whale carcasses on the beach. Tell me more.
And rusted and empty tanks of whale oil, literally thousands of gallons of whale oil from when these whales were captured and literally like dragged to the shore. PBS NewsHour recently, well, fairly recently, did a story about this. And I actually have their website up right now so that I can quote some of their corresponders that talked about this place. Because again, I'm going to say it again. This is a place that I don't think anyone really has heard about. We do a lot of research when we look up what we're going to talk about next because we want to make sure that we're talking about compelling places.
The finest things that Google can provide.
Yeah.
The finest Google research.
But no one wants to hear the same ghost stories told over and over on every different ghost hunting show possible. Deception Island hosted hundreds of men who spent summers harpooning and butchering whales, rendering their blubber, their bones, their meat, all of it, just rendering it down to take full advantage of the oil the animals produce.
Why does this sound so sexy when you talk about it like that?
Talking about like murdering and draining whales of their life.
Listen, I heard you say hundreds of men, and then something about taking advantage of all the meat that they could produce.
Yeah, you missed the whole middle part there. But I'm sure the audience didn't. Okay. Yeah, this place is haunted by ghost whales.
Whales don't have any spirits, so it's fine.
Wow. I'm sure the ghost of these whales are listening to you right now going, we finally get recognition, and this guy says that.
I've never seen the movie that's all whales go to heaven because whales are soulless. They have no souls. You can quote me on that. I'm putting that on a t-shirt. Whales have no souls.
When like whales come and like decapitate you in the middle of the night, don't blame me. Do not come crying to me. Like, that's on you.
I'm sorry. I am not very successful B-list actor. I have a very tiny home, So they're not going to be able to fit in my home. They're going to have to go to like Drake's house or something. They're going to have to go to a big house to fit in the
And
door.
now you're just calling all whales fat. You know what? Let's just move on. Bloody red runoff and the stench from these whales attracts flocks of birds. So the whole area is just kind of stained and not left really in a great place. This was from a time where it was the early 20th century when this was going on, and like I said, hundreds of men participated in this and just left the carcasses there. And I know that's not exactly haunted, but that's just kind of to set the mood of what's going on.
Okay, I'm digging what you're laying down. I'm digging it.
It's also a popular place for Antarctican cruise destinations. They'll kind of stop there and check it out. And I mean, when you're taking a cruise to like a big block of ice the size of the United States, yeah, sure, I guess this is a great place to stop. What else are you going to see? The ice over there? Yeah, we'll get to that ice in a second.
Absolutely.
There's ice over there too.
It's actually a cruise brought to you by Carnival Cruise Lines. It's called the Cruise of Deception. Check that out.
Yeah, if you ever get on a cruise named that, get off. That's just weird. Like I said, it was once home to an old whaler station. It's not used anymore, but whale bones are still seen all over the beaches, and all of these animals were completely slaughtered. So it's pretty common for people to hear voices on this island. This website just says they're disembodied voices. So I'm not even sure they're speaking in English. So I'm not saying we're talking about whale ghosts. I know you joked about that earlier, but the fact that it's pretty much gibberish is interesting. Yeah, you know.
I'm pretty sure you said gibberish with an M, though, not gibberish.
I said gibber-pish.
Okay, so there's disembodied voices.
I was
think that's fairly
speaking
scary.
gibberish by saying gibber-pish.
Okay. I get it. Now, you're saying that there's disembodied voices. And that's pretty scary. I mean, talk about scary, right? But is there anything besides that? I mean, come on, there's got to be something else. You're always holding out. Oh.
I am holding out. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a master of knowing exactly when to pause in my sentences. And giving the audience the best possible build up that they can imagine. Some visitors to Whalers Bay, which is a landing site on Deception Island, have described seeing strange apparitions and orbs of light, in addition to hearing these voices. So we've talked about orbs in the past, and yeah, they can be lens flares, they can be different things, but strange apparitions, that kind of sounds to me like ghosts that aren't necessarily human, or figures that don't have a human looking
But
body.
have you seen any pictures? You can just describe the
associate
pictures
them
if you've
as.
seen them. I'm just asking you if you've seen the pictures.
This is an audio episode. No, I don't really have a lot of pictures of this because it's not really a place that is heavily visited since it gets so freaking cold. In 2009, the crew of Destination Truth visited this bay, and they claim to have heard a lot of loud bangs and saw a shadowy figure. So if you really want to go watch something about this instead of listening to mine and Adam's glorious sounding voice, check out Destination Truth. They have an episode about it where they cover it. So outside of that episode, though, I'm sure no one's ever heard of it.
I have a lot of pictures for our listeners. There's a lot of gravestones on Deception Island. There seems to be a lot of orbs around these gravestones, if you believe in orbs. And it's, I mean, fairly creepy. They're just getting buried in the black sand beach. Yeah, I mean, the place looks pretty damn terrifying. Excuse me.
I think orbs, orbs are an interesting thing too. Like, we've talked about orbs in the past at cemeteries and other places, and they can be a load of crap. I'm not going to lie. They could totally be camera manipulation or just things that the photographer didn't even notice were causing these light changes. But when we're talking Antarctica, like, I don't know about you, but when I think about Antarctica, I literally think of what my freezer produces when I press the ice button and I put my cup up against the release, and ice just like plummets.
Yeah, it's a pretty
my cup.
Scary place.
And that may have been an odd
No, I liked it.
Acronym for analogy, whatever, for Antarctica. But it's completely ice. It's not like there's a lot of people there, and it's pretty much all white, snowy. It's cold all the time. So I don't know what would be causing these orbs. And I think, you have to at some point think about whether or not slaughtering is any different between humans versus any other kind of creature.
Absolutely.
Not to belittle anything that's happened throughout human history, but when we're talking thousands of whales have literally been murdered in this place, like, that's not going to leave good energy. That's terrible.
Well, I mean, also whaling was a dangerous occupation. There was lots of humans that actually have souls that also died there, that were buried there. So if you're leaning toward believing in the supernatural, I would say that whales can't do it, but humans can. And the human aspect is more scary. And a lot of dudes have died there. You can see it. I'm looking right now. There's hundreds of graves there.
There is.
In the middle of nowhere. I want to go.
And you want me to pay for it?
This place looks awesome. No. This time we'll get our producers to pay for it.
That's me.
Oh, well, I guess that's you then.
Just to put a number to what I've been talking about, more than 2 million whales were slaughtered.
That's awesome.
Right there.
I bet they were all delicious.
You eat whales?
Yum. I would if you put a whale steak in front of me. I'd eat the hell out of that. Not a human steak, because humans have spirits. Whales don't.
You're so mean. Like, they're redheads or something. They're not no gingers.
Yeah, I know a redheaded person who has no soul. I do know that. But I don't believe these whales have a soul either. I mean, if they did, would they just haunt other whales and animals, not us? I don't know.
I don't know. Is that the way that works? Maybe like when you see a ghost, but you're like not sure what it is. It's like really the ghost of like a bunny or something. You're like, what is this? Like, I don't know. I never really thought about like other animals haunting humans, getting their revenge.
I have so many cows that have been haunting me from all the burgers I've ate in my life.
Like,
they're just all sitting on my belly right now.
I could imagine that.
It's hard to run. They weigh me down. It's their fault. Ghosts of cows past.
Wow.
It's pretty tough. Pretty tough. I don't know what kind of a noise a disembodied whale would make. Probably say that just sounds like a regular whale. Sounds not very scary at all.
Maybe it's more loud and booming.
It could be. But so you can actually go to this place, and I'm actually a really big fan of going to just off the beaten path kind of tourist attractions. I've always found dark tourism to be very, very fascinating. And I think that this is one of those locations that would definitely be on that list for dark tourism. Yeah,
well, the facilities were basically left to the mercy of the harsh winters and volcanic ash in 1931. So this place has been abandoned for a while. And what's really nice to hear because we don't want this whole episode or show to be depressing, is that it looks like whales have started to rebound, especially humpback whales. They've been migrating and swimming through the area much more recently than they had when they were getting killed for doing so. So that's always nice to see. But again, going back to what I just said, is that's a long time for this place to be practically abandoned.
Yeah, it really is. And the pictures are just terrifying looking, to be quite honest. Something that'd be really fun to go check out if I liked the cold, which I don't. But it's still pretty awesome looking. Is there anything else? What else you got for me?
I don't really have anything else. That it's pretty much just that one thing, is that people have seen and heard noises and the orbs and strange apparitions to go along with it, and just the terrible history that goes along with it. And when oil prices tanked because of the Great Depression, the station was completely abandoned. Like, it's not like it closed down in great fashion of like, well, this is our last week, let's get the whales and clean this place up. It's literally just like one day no one showed up anymore. So there are still, tools and just everything from operation laying around. And that goes back to why there's just whale bones laying around. Like, I don't want to say this place is like the elephant graveyard from Lion King, but this place is the elephant graveyard from Lion King. Like,
it definitely seems like a sadder place, right?
Yeah, you stay away from it. Mufasa says that we don't have that. That's not part of our kingdom. So
nice, very nice. Yeah, I mean, and going back to what we've talked about several times before, I've said many times that, and I'm always joking, like, that sounds like garbage, that sounds like garbage. I don't believe in that. And your theory has always kind of been that there's more of an energy to places. And going on that theory, there's a lot of places in the world. There's abandoned subway stations and all sorts of places like that where people haven't necessarily died or nothing really horrible has happened there to humans. But for whatever reason, people still hear things, see people working. They state that all sorts of things happen, like maybe they left an imprint on that area.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what people think they're seeing or what they're seeing. And I mean, honestly, that the whole depressing aspect of it and how sad it looks really probably does play a huge part on the human psyche.
And there has been a lot of tourism. Like, we're talking significantly less than some of the other places we've covered. Tens of thousands of tourists each year-ish. But because of the volcanic activity, there's not really a way to permanently fix or add new development to this area. So that's one of the reasons why it's been left abandoned and people visit it, but it continues to be abandoned these days. Is there's just not really any way to build upon it. So it's probably a place that's going to be lost over time because of the changing earth. Crazy. But yeah,
just getting taken back by the elements.
Yep. But it does make you think, what is going on Deception Island?
It's deceiving, if nothing else. I mean, there's a whole cemetery there that all those dead guys, no one's visiting. They're just there to be left by themselves.
In the ice cold.
Yep. They're probably very well preserved, though.
Brr. Yeah, one of them might even reanimate when they take them to the heat awesome. Or something. Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Probably not, but pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what's the address of this place so people can go visit?
The address to this place is Antarctica. Deception Island.
So if anybody has been there or they know someone who's been there, they have any evidence of anything happening there, please feel free to drop us a line at overnightdistribution@gmail.com. That is overnightdistribution@gmail.com. Is that the email address we're giving out?
That is the email address. And also...
Outstanding. I did something right.
You did. Congratulations. Round of applause.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And if anyone decides to go on a cruise and they decide to head to southern waters through this area, let us know. Because the likelihood is you're not just going to decide to go to Deception Island. But if it's en route to something else, let us know. Definitely an interesting place. I'm glad we could bring something like this to the show, because
I'm happy you shared it with me.
It's not all about haunted houses and cemeteries and hotels. Sometimes it's about wildlife and what humans have done and what they've left behind.
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing it to Light Clay. Thanks for sharing it with us today. I would like to thank all of our loyal listeners. And, just creep it real, guys. Creep it real.
Creep it real. Email us. overnightdistribution@gmail.com. Thanks, guys.
There you go. Good job, Clay. I like that one a lot. That was good.
Yay.
Whale ghosts.
Whale ghosts.
I love